right, true believers. It's time for another Marvel movie review.
Who was that? What was that all about?
That was Stan Lee.
Oh my, the worst.
Spectacular Stan Lee.
This is going to be the first and last time we ever hear from you doing Stan Lee ever again. I don't know about that.
Okay, all right. It's Film Fury. It's another superhero movie.
Is it?
It says Spider-Man Far From Home. What did you think, true believer?
I thought you were Vince McMahon for
I know,
a second. I don't even know what's going on.
I apologize. What did you think?
I honestly, what I thought is I liked this movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fun vacation style of movie.
Yeah.
Where the entire cast goes on vacation. The one thing that we have to be very, very careful of, I think.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Guys, there are so many spoilers in this that we're going to really. It's going to be difficult.
We have to tread lightly, but I think anybody that's ever read a Spider-Man comic book, actually, if you've ever read any comic book, you know that if Mysterio is in this, there's going to be weird stuff happening. There's going to be a lot of,
There's a lot of
mysterious
weird
things cooking. And Jake Gyllenhaal is pretty damn terrific, wouldn't you say?
He's fantastic.
As Mysterio?
He's really, really good.
He's fantastic. Tom Holland is superb as Spider-Man again.
So
it's very hard to even conceive of another actor that could be this guy.
Yeah, okay, let's have a little debate here.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, man.
Absolutely, all the way.
I didn't mind Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield at all. They were competent, but Tom Holland is another level. The guy is fantastic. The only thing I would say about him is that he's really charming and funny, and he's a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker's supposed to be kind of nebbish and nerdy, and
I think he does that too.
He plays it, but when you look at him, I mean, everybody falls in love with Tom Holland.
Well, except for me, I'm not in love with him. I think he's a good actor. I think he's a good young actor. I think he's really good.
Do you know who I have fallen in love with?
Oh my goodness.
Zendaya. She's Mary Jane. She's amazing. She's got such a deadpan, droll sort of delivery, and she's so funny and so competent and so strong and such a great choice for the female lead. You can see why Peter Parker is infatuated with her.
Because she's kind of not interested. She's not interested in all the establishment and everything. That's why he likes her.
She's got something witty to say on every line.
Yeah.
You look really pretty.
Therefore, I have value?
No, that's not what I meant at all. I was just...
I'm messing with you.
And she nails it, and she's such a good performer. Like she's like a pop star. She's from the Disney world, and she's great, man. She's a great actor.
Can I say something that's going to surprise Vic?
Yeah.
You know who my two favorite actors are? And I don't know their names.
Yeah.
They were the teachers that were taking the kids around. They were so funny because the kids are smarter than them, and they're just going, "What's going on? We have to keep going. We have to go to a different hotel. Crazy things are happening." I like their characters quite a lot.
And
really funny.
We get a lot of Nick Fury, and we get a lot of Maria Hill in this as well.
Yes.
It is a jam-packed movie, very stuffed.
Very stuffed.
There is obviously, this is the aftermath of Endgame, so we're going to spoil this if you haven't seen Endgame. But Tony Stark has passed away, Iron Man, and the world is trying to figure out.
We're living in the aftermath of this time, and you can see what happened to all the survivors and what they're kind of going through. It's kind of powerful.
And so there's a question about whether Spider-Man will be able to kind of take the mantle and be the superhero that everybody wants him to be, including Spider-Man himself. And so there's a lot of, Spider-Man grappling with his
emotions. Can I live up to it? Can I live in the shadow of Tony Stark?
Yeah.
And I think he does a really good job. And again, we can't talk about the story, which is really difficult because I want to go on and on and on about it.
I think it was a little overstuffed, I will have to say.
I will say that in the middle, I thought was the ending. I thought, well, we're kind of wrapping things up. Where are we going to go from here? And then we kind of go somewhere else, we'll say. Yeah.
Because it's so overstuffed, and this is the challenge that the screenwriters and Jon Watts, I think, is the director again, who did a great job with Homecoming. I thought that was... I like that movie a little more than this one. Because I think one of the big challenges is they tried to have the looseness and the sort of frivolity of this high school kind of angsty sort of relationship stuff fused with all of this post-Avengers-esque subterfuge and lots of like almost military drama and lots of plot threads that would involve lots of other supporting characters from the Avengers world, and so it just gets a little it's hard for them to be loose and rigid at the same time. You know what I mean?
I think they did good, but in the sense that it starts off and it's very morbid, it's really sad, and you're feeling for Spider-Man. Then all of a sudden, we go on this amazing fun trip, and we get to see all the kids again, and we know them. We get to we know them a lot more now, and we see them in a whole different light, and different relationships are happening between them, and it's all fun. I'll be honest, that was the stuff that I loved the most in this movie.
I know, that's like the real movie.
That is the real movie, and then we get into some other villains, we'll say.
Yeah.
And
then it's special effects, you know,
stuff.
Yeah, like a buffet of amazing special effects, which some of them are incredible.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
A lot of them are forgettable
I'm just kind of used to it all now.
Yeah,
special effects.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's what we get. I thought that some of the villain stuff later on, we'll say, was a little bit silly.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense how the villain,
which plays into the part of you know who that character is.
I understand that, but there's kind of some transference for some powers in some ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a little too easy. Yeah. And isn't there any holding back in the some system or something there to prevent that? That's all I was thinking.
I mean
that was weak for me. I'm like, that's what killed it. If the villain is so, I don't know, isn't a really good villain and the plot around them and how they're trying to take over everything doesn't work, the movie falls apart every time for me.
I think part of it is just that there's so many different plot elements, including the different cities that we go to, which makes it exciting and probably...
The road trip idea.
Yeah,
right?
And it's a cool idea for the studio to have this international kind of presence in this Spider-Man movie, but it's like, good God, you're just trying to focus on all these different things, and like Spider-Man swinging through Germany, and we're in Prague, and you know, like I think it's one that will benefit from repeat viewings, and I would say that about Homecoming as well, because that was also a cluttered movie, but it was a little easier to digest because it was based in New York, and we were in the high school, and you know there were lots of threads and connections to the MCU world for sure, but it was more contained. And this one is all over the frickin' place, up to and including the post-credit sequences, which are pretty incredible.
They're pretty interesting.
But they're also like, wow, we're going in a million different new directions.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. We go in so many directions in this movie. There's so much going on.
Yes.
It's very hard to digest. There's some elements that I didn't like to do with the villains and all that. I thought were very silly.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Real? I can't tell you because I can't say.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're trying to do that plot. This is insanely outrageous.
But at the core, excellent performances.
At the core, this is a fun movie.
Yes. And I think honestly that MJ, Peter Parker,
very nice.
It's so important, and they nailed it.
It worked.
Yeah, it really worked.
That did work. At the end of the movie, I really liked them.
Yes.
As them together in some regard and not together.
Totally.
That was kind of fun.
It's absolutely enjoyable. It's a good follow-up sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. I still prefer the first one though. What are you going to give Spider-Man Far From Home?
I really enjoyed the vacation elements here, the laughs, the humor in it. I think I enjoyed that stuff the most. But the villain was very weak and silly and dumb for me. So I'm just going to give it. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm in between. I can't give it a 7.75.
I want to give it an 8. You know what I mean?
I'm 7.5 as well.
Wow.
That's how I'm feeling now. I think it might go up if I see it again.